not indicative of the score. And golly, I don't know when I've seen a better football game. I know what you're getting ready to say, and I feel the same way. And I'm sure everybody from Ashland that's on their way home right now feels the same way, that we was robbed. But it seems like we get robbed. We come over here, and they feel like they get robbed, and they come to Putnam Stadium. But it was tough. It's a tough way to lose.
I'm getting sick and tired all year long, every Friday night, having to play 15 people. I'm sick and tired of it. I've headed up to here, and I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how we can change it. They come into Putnam Stadium, and the daggone officials over there give everybody every break in the world. When you got 6 inches to go to score, and you fumble across the goal line, and the silly official doesn't know it's a touchdown. I'm mad. I can't see straight.
I was right on the goal line, Vic, and you're right. He carried the ball across the goal line, and there was numerous Ashland people down there, and probably Ironton people too, and he obviously carried the ball across the goal line. And my thought was, he can do anything he wants to the ball. He could throw it over at the swimming pool as long as he crossed the goal line with the football, and he obviously did. He had it. The ball was laid across it. It was in his grasp when he crossed the line, and you're right. He obviously crossed it with the football.
All he has to do is break the plane. That's all he has to do. That changed the whole reflection of the game. Our kids played hard. They tried hard. I love these kids, Dirk. I love them, and they're just like anybody else you love. When they get shafted,
it's tough to take, obviously, and it's hard to look back, I know, at some of the incidents, but maybe we should. First quarter, we just came out and just absolutely, I think, stunned them with some hard play. I really think they took us for granted, and really didn't think they were in a football game maybe until the second quarter, and they finally realized it. But our kids didn't quit. We came back and got some bad breaks in the second quarter, but our first quarter play was probably about as good. And the third quarter, wasn't bad with the breaks we were getting.
Well, I think what it was the first quarter is that they were like everybody else. They thought we were going to get beat 15 points. See, they thought they were going to just come out and beat us 15 points like everybody else thought. I know the score wound up 15 points, but it wasn't no dang...
Okay, Vic, we were trying to look back, I guess, maybe at the first quarter, and I know it's hard to do because of the way things ended up, and I know you're upset. I know your kids are upset because they played. I think they personally played hard enough to win. I'm sure everybody on this side of the field feels the same way, and it's really tough to take. I got mad and I had to turn myself off a few times, and I usually, I'm a vowed homer, but I usually try to control myself, But I know a few times I had to turn myself off, and I know officials had to ask y'all to move back a little bit. But we talked about there's specific instances throughout the entire ball game, and it seems like our penalties came at crucial times. Whether it be a motion penalty or I didn't see the ineligible receiver downfield. He could have been there, but I looked all over. I thought that's what it was.
We get a guy 4 yards downfield, and they got a guy that's 76 chasing the dang receiver when he catches the ball, and that's not illegal receiver downfield. They beat on Chuck Price until his poor kid was silly. He grabbed his face mask a couple times.
They rode him out of bounds over here. The one you got very upset about when they rode him out right over here. It was obvious they had, he was riding him and he had hold of his face mask. We got to talk a little bit about Chuck Broughton. He was thrown in in a hostile environment than he would ever be thrown in, and he just did super.
Chuck did an excellent job. I hope what we called, and I made a bad call there late in the game, and it caused us an interception. But Chuck's got a great arm, and he's got a great future. I honestly believe that. And Chuck, he was very cool. He got upset with himself a couple of times, but a sophomore jumping into a big game like this, and that's only going to do one thing, but that's got to help him with his experience. And he's got to be pleased with his efforts.
Got back in the pocket nice a couple of times. He went back in there and kind of looked everything over, getting pressure from every place, and he just kind of rifled the ball. And you don't see that a lot of times, and he hadn't had a whole lot of experience doing that.
No, at the first of the year, he was overthrowing everybody. He was just strong-arming everything he threw. He threw a beautiful pass there to Darren Richardson one time, and, it was just, dang kid came down with an interception, but Lord have mercy, it was tapped all over the place, and Darren had it, and the other kid had it, but he put just the right finesse on it, and he did a super job, and I'm just tickled to death with Chuck's efforts.
It looked like to me, especially early, and some late, and most of the time in the late in the game, that we knew what Ironton was going to do, and we pretty well cut off what they were trying to do. I thought, especially in the first quarter, defensively, we knew what they were going to do when they got out there and they set up. And I know you've worked hard. It's not just something that happened, obviously, because you worked your kids and tried to get them to do this. But we knew what they were going to do. I thought we had them well scouted. I don't think they did anything. Maybe the long pass play maybe threw you off maybe a little bit, but I don't think they really did anything that we weren't expecting.
No, they had the big play on the pass, and of course that put the game out of reach. But it wouldn't